Hi, here's the playbook of how to deploy municipal fiber to Newport County. The plan is to break it up into 7 different components. And what that does is it allows private companies to compete and bid on the thing that they do best. So let's go through those steps, play by play. The biggest thing, or the biggest cost really, is about 80% of the cost is physical construction. What is physical construction? That's building out lateral from the existing middle mile that we have here in Newport County. We'll build up to 2 telecom shacks. That requires standby power, HVAC, and security. We have what's called the middle mile. There's an entity called Ocean and Open Cape, which is predominantly in Cape Cod. They are a 501c3 organization. They have many miles of fiber and also Rhode Island Department of Transportation. They have a lot of fiber that's running under the main state roads on Aquidneck Island that are not lit because they're not tied in to the other 2 middle mile providers. But what that means is to deploy, we need to come up with agreements with them for a fiber swap and maybe an MOA with RIDOT. We sign a contract with what's called dedicated internet access. Basically, you're just buying bandwidth from them. The third portion is design. This is basically what electronics should be buying and what the architecture is. The great thing about municipal fiber is so many municipalities have done this, we can kind of just cut and paste their work. What you do need are switches, fuel splitters, and what is like a cable modem that you have in your home is called an ONT. And a UPS, a couple of rechargeable batteries to make sure that stays lit even in a power outage. An ISP, an internet service provider. The ISP kind of oversees a lot of things. They do a lot of the dirty work. They do the billing, the promotion, and they make sure the connection is up. And they handle connection and disconnect requests. Something that we may want to talk about is a voice over IP provider. What is VoIP? It's just like your landline phone, except it's way cheaper. VoIP is a great technology. You can port your local phone number to a VoIP system, and E911 is integrated. I hope that if something happened at 2 a.m., I definitely don't want to take that phone call, and neither do you. A help desk is someone you contract out to pick up the phone 24/7, 365. They can talk you through any issue because they will have access to outage monitoring of National Grid and also outages that may happen in a municipal fiber network. The help desk will coordinate very closely with what's called the break-fix contract. Usually the break-fix provider is the same company that did the physical construction. But sometimes it could be another company that does a better job that we would want. Break-fix, what does that mean? That means if there's an accident during dig state, you know, the oops moment when someone sticks the shovel in the wrong place. An act of God, an ice storm or a hurricane may cause damage to the fiber optic cable. That being said about hurricane, what you do is you buy storm insurance to hedge for those events. And living on Aquidneck Island off East Main Road, I know all about telephone poles getting hit by cars. Yeah. So again, the break-fix company would contract and work with National Grid when the poles are replaced and restored to reattach any fiber optic if they are on those poles. So, there's a lot of roads to get this done, but why am I talking to you about this today, and why do I think it's so important that we pursue this path? It's local. Local control, accountability, and the dollars. The dollars that we spend on a monthly basis stay here in Newport County. Can you say that about our existing incumbent provider? And again, transparency. When we have local control, we have transparency over the operation. We have full ownership, and we are all equally invested in the success of this network, which is a vastly superior architecture and vastly improved speed and quality of service, all provided to you by people that live in Newport County.